Yeah. I know how to balance a checkbook. I live by the. I can tell you, I see the shrinking part to my employees. I see the shrinking part to mine. And we have one more election, right? If you don't get this right, you're not going to get another free one. And you got to balance the checkbook. Got to balance the checkbook. I agree with him too. That this tax, education is not hurting. I'll tell you why. There's still one administrator for every teacher. That's wrong. And that money's not even going to teaching. You can't even be guaranteed for that.
And what about all the charters?
And how are they doing this? And how are they doing it?
I know, there's no accountability, and there's like, what, 340 charter schools in Arizona?
But 8 of the top 10 scores come from charter schools.
Yeah, and let me tell you something else. I heard a phenomenal aspect. If you're looking at outcomes based, okay, where you're getting the results, okay, achievement-wise, what country has the highest rating? Sweden. Do you know what? In Sweden, they don't start school until you're 7. Wow, that tells me something, and it isn't about pre-K and K. It isn't. Because there's something going on in Sweden where they're consistently accelerating. And there's a wonderful book that you need to also look at. It's called Last Child in the Forest. And Last Child in the Forest comes about that all of us, I don't know about you, young man, okay, I hope your dad's taking you out in the woods, okay? But we have found that we've lost problem solving in our classrooms. And the reason being, we're finding an innate cross-reference that if we were in nature unsupervised, we had to get ourselves out of problems. And we know how to problem solve, and these kids can't do it. And we're losing that expertise or that touch with nature, whether it be in a forest, a mine, a grassland, it doesn't matter. But education's got to come back to its roots. And that's every single one of you. Some of you are grandparents. I hope you never give up. Because what you give to your children is immense. I'm not a stupid dad. I hope I'm not a stupid dad. But I tell my kids something, and I'm sure this happened with you, your dad did, okay? That you say something to your kids and say, okay, you got to do this. And it goes in one ear and out the other. Well, guess what I've learned? I import my mom and dad from Wyoming. And they say it. And my kids come to me and they go, guess what, Dad? Guess what Mom, Grandma and Grandpa said? Deja vu. Don't ever give up your power. That's the power of family.
I'd like to take a shot at your question. All of us will bring your big job, as I mentioned, is making sure that the person that's elected from this district lives the values that the Constitution is going to live on and survive. Lives the values that you believe in, that you know are true. And I'm taking it for granted, talking to a group of individuals, that those are high values, that those are moral values, that they're sustainable, uplifting values. All of us will bring a unique skill set to you. And we're going to present it to you in its best light. And we will speak highly of everything we've ever done, hopefully. I have blown it. I've made mistakes. I have been in a few fistfights in my time. I was a young man, and I repented. We jokingly said in basketball, I had the state foul record. I fouled out of more basketball games, and my coach finally took me and said, Bowers, you don't do me any good sitting on the bench. So all my other teams, they all know, all we need to do is get Bowers ticked off. So let's just pick the poor sap on our team with the lowest IQ and go tug on his shorts when he's going up for a shot. And then pretty soon he'll be sitting on the bench and you'll be unconscious. But at least we'll be able to win. So it was keep your eye on the ball. What is it you need to achieve and will you do it? So the skill set I bring is I have family history, I have a reputation. I am not unknown. I'm not a showboat. I'm just a workhorse. I'm not a show horse. But I have a reputation for getting things done effectively, for bringing disparate groups of people together, not trying to be bully or intimidate, but to try to find their strengths, weave those strengths together in a solution that's good for everybody. If we can, if they're within a principled solution, and I have that reputation. And so I would encourage you to look at my reputation, look me up on the internet, talk to people that know me, and there are people in this room who know me. And because you're going to need more help and just us talking to make the best decision we can. But that would be my answer. And you had your hands up first, I'm sorry.
Public education. What is the purpose of public education? What's its function? And what's the federal role in fulfilling that function, public
The
education?
constitutional function of public education was to give a broad liberal arts education in order to preserve the experiment of a republic. And the founders knew that we needed a strong public education system that was principled and had that as its guide. Not the government knows best. Who are we talking to? The guy we had a German boy who was as a visitor, and went a foreign exchange student with us for a month here recently. And when they're like 7, the government decides you're going to be in the trades, you're going to be a professional, you're going to be in sports, you're going to be in agriculture. Very young. They have a nice education system that you have picked to go to this school, and then you might be able to, with certain things, go to that school, but it's all regimented. This is Germany. And we all say we want to do Obama says, we want to do the European model. With all due respect, Paul, there's no European nation. If the Swedes had any brains, why would they be socialistic? Why would 90+% of their taxes go to the government? They're smart. They've got a system down, but we're different. I really don't care how we compare to France in our education. I want our people to have sufficient training and sufficient moral values that they will want this experiment to continue. Like Ben Franklin said when asked, what did you give us? We gave you a republic if you can. And so I value my public education. I think there are nuances of charter schools, which I helped bring in. And homeschooling, not all children are equal. But to keep this experiment going, we have to watch over what
And what's
we
the
learn.
role of the federal government?
I don't think the federal government has a role. I think the role of the federal government is to say, we want to make sure that there is a broad public education in our country. States, go do it, because it's not in the 17 enumerated clauses. It's the states and the local people who should have public education.
Well, first of all, I want to bring back this healthcare bill. And the reason I'm going to is what was attached to healthcare bill? Student loans. And guess what? That student loan is going to tell you exactly the European model. It's going to tell you who's going to be a doctor, because I got to tell you, doctors coming out of school now are $300,000 to $350,000 down. And they're going to tell you where you're going to go and where you're going to work and who's going to get it. Next thing is, where's federal government controlling this? They put very little money into it and they control it all the way up from the bottom. In our public school systems right now, we are teaching to the bottom, not to the breast. So 70% of the school district, or the student population, are getting taught to. That's the problem, is we've advocated to the federal government. Once again, we have to have the state take that back. We states know better, local communities know better. The first thing you do is you get the purse strings. I'm the product of a public education. I went to Pineville High School. I had all the math and all the science after my sophomore year that was available in that school district. But I actually worked with the game and fish. I actually worked with a PhD from Princeton because they were outside. But they cared enough to advertise and put themselves on the line to teach. That's what we have to do. Teaching is about communities. It is not about just a system. It's about all of us in the community. Where we need to have education is all of us have to have the opportunity for education, and that education may be different. What's wrong with the trades? Some people, there's nothing wrong at all. I guarantee you, I love metal shop, because in our school we had to do metal shop and wood shop. That's how I put myself through school, as a construction guy. That's how I built my house. These are all things that we need to retool and reteach. But we're required to make sure that people at least have the opportunity to have that education.
So what's the role of the feds then?
The role of the Fed is not.